We have a video here. This is a unique way that I thought of to explain the transformations of a graph or information. This eye here seems like it was drawn in paint or it was drawn in some sort of internet or computer tool, but it was actually drawn using 12 sets of equations, and then those equations were all set on the same XY coordinate. So underneath this there actually is an X and Y coordinate plane. You can even see in a very small part there that the number 20 is sticking out like on the upper edge of the eyelash. And I'm going to deconstruct this so you can see all of the equations that had gone into making this eye. With transformations, I only use two sets of equations. I just use the x squared equation, and I use the two equations that you need to make a circle, the plus side and the minus side for a circle. And the circle is only used for the center part of the eye. So you can see here we're deconstructing now the eye back down to being just until I started with just one x squared function, and then it was the flipped over sides, or when they're negative, and when they're curved in the right way with the underbelly, then they're positive. So here we're coming down to this being the very first equation, and then, or function, you could say either way. And you can see that they're redrawn in a different color because the computer program that I'm using, it randomly picks its own colors. It's not always black, but so that you could see it as more as an eye and just more graphically appealing. I set them all into black and made the lines smaller and a little thicker so you can see the eyelashes. But again, this is just 12 sets of little equations, and this is what you can do. They're almost all the same equation. Even the function of a circle is pretty close to x squared. But that's just a little video I want to do to show you transformations. Here I listed all the equations, all the functions that had gone into making this eye right here. There is an x and y coordinate underneath all of this, and each one of these, there's two pages here. This is the first page and the second page. I don't know how well you can see these, so I'm going to also create a better picture of this at the end so you could read more exactly all of the information. But in here, I put all of the Excel equations exactly the way I typed them. Now in the green, this does not have to be the actual cell that you use. It just has to be your x value, and the x values are over here. It'll say from negative 18 to positive 18, negative 13 to positive 18. And what that means is these don't go onward forever. This information doesn't go permanently. So there's a limit, and you can see in this really small area right there, that's this equation, and it only goes from negative 16 to negative 13. The hardest part about this is the general equation of the circle. It's in this form here, but you have to break this down because you know your x is the underlying information here, and then it's going to portray the creation of the y information. So you have to create it so that it's set into y equaling the rest of the equation. So you have to do a lot of changing. And then from that, I had to move it up 8 and then 7.5. And that whole circle, there's a plus and a minus side. So you can see this plus here and then this minus side here. And that's the two sides of a circle. So they're saying you have an x-plane, and then you go up to some central point, y, and then from there it's a plus a little bit and a minus a little bit, and a plus a little bit and a minus a little bit, and that's why there's two sides to it. If you do all this and you have one set of x's progressing from about negative, I put on here my scale to get enough room on both sides, negative 60 this way and positive 60 that way. If you create that whole scale and you set all these equations to work in those areas, you'll create this eye. The thing you have to notice most is the negatives flip upside down. So when it's curved this way, that's negative. When it's curved this way, it's positive. So you can see that this is one that's opening facing downward, and this is one that's opening facing upward, based off of the pluses and the minuses. I just wanted to see if I could do this, see if I could make a transformation graph and draw something with it. It just seemed like a challenge, and this is what I made. Okay, I just put these up here because I wanted to try to make these as clear as I could so that you could see them and retype them if you wanted to. On the left there is the actual Excel equations, and in the center is the more mathematically precise way of saying it without the computer language involved. There's two screens, and then the very last one I'm just going to show you the best picture that I can get of the detail of the eye. If I put this up and the video isn't clear enough and you still can't see it or read it, I'm just going to type all of the equations right where it can be easily read as just basic text. But that's the end of it.